Michelle, I'm going to miss your big headphones.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to try something. I wanted to look even more like you than
I was going to
already
say, you're
do.
such a copycat. Oh my God.
I want us to be matching. Hold on. Let me just turn my light down a little bit. It's a bit crazy.
How's that look?
I think fine. It's
Yeah?
just, it was a bit like blinding, you know?
It was blinding. Do you find that when you're on set, you get that like squinty eye thing, like when the lights are right in your face and they're shooting something that's like right up close to you?
Sometimes, yeah. And a lot of the times when they put the like either diffuser or bounce underneath you, it's another thing. It's really hard being an actor, you guys.
Being an actor.
We have lights in our face. We have people getting us coffees when we just want to be left alone.
Okay, I will say though, and this might curse a few actors out there, so I'm sorry if you're an actor and you're listening to this and you're the type of person who's very, I don't know, subject to being cursed by things people say.
Okay.
But sometimes when I start thinking about how dry my eyes are and the light is super bright, I lose my friggin' mind sitting there being like, oh my God, I don't know how to not blink anymore. Like I'm just like blinking over and over and over again. I'm like, this isn't a human. This isn't what humans do.
Yeah.
You get
well,
that?
that's like a nervous tick. Like if I think so. Like on some level, I think it's like your brain kind of fixating on something. And then because there's pressure, you kind of can't deviate from that. Yeah, I've definitely had moments like that where I'm like, oh my God, my nose is so itchy.
And you're just sitting there like going like, oh.
Yeah, I can't constantly be itching my nose. Oh, what was I thinking? I think it's even in this podcast. I notice a lot when we're like scanning through the episode. I do itch my nose a lot. It's like a tick.
You just stick your finger right up there.
No.
Just all the way to the brain.
No, like the side.
Just a little side itch?
Yeah, it's a side itch.
Is it always the same side?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's a nervous thing also touching the microphone.
I notice a lot of people touch the microphones on video podcasts, so I think that's comfort. You feel like you're controlling the situation a little bit more if you can control the microphone distance.
Right. I also just like using my hands, but I guess
me too.
Before
you
we
can't
get
just sit here like going like this.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, before we get any further, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts. Evan, how are you? What's going on?
I love how you always make it before we get any further. You can just say, welcome to Spare Parts. I'll know what you're doing. I'm not going to be like, what's Michelle doing?
She totally fucked me up.
She's going crazy.
I just don't want the people listening to think that we forgot that they're here.
No, for sure. I mean, I always forget they're there, but that's okay. That's just my own goldfish brain. What is going on? Let me think here. I started working out again for the first time in many years.
Well, what? But you're active. You walk, you rock climb, things like that. But you mean gym?
Like I'm going to the gym again. Like I joined this new gym that does what I used to do, which is like more Olympic lifting and like all that stuff. And I did that many, many years ago when we were shooting Letterkenny, for sure. Like I look back on these episodes, I'm like, whoa, your arms are pretty like, whoa. But I've gone every day this week now for the first, and like I hadn't been in like 6 years, and my bum, oh my goodness,
what's going on with it?
It looks amazing. No, it's so
it's so high.
It's so sore. Like I am noticing with every step I take, I'm like, oh.
That's kind of a nice feeling. You really did something.
Oh, I'm doing something. I have another class today at 5:30, and I'm like, good God. Like this is, I really put myself in it. I do that. I go extreme, like either no working out or all the working out. Mm-hmm. I'm in the all the working out phase, and it is. That's
good though. You've got plenty of time for summer and to be really confident on the naked beach when you come out to West Coast beaches, which are all naked.
Huge bum for West Coast naked beach time.
Huge bum. You with an enormous bum would be very funny.
Just meet my oldest brother. Is exactly who. It's so weird. He got this big old badonkadonk. I don't know where it came from. It is not genetic from anyone else in my family. And he's just got this big old ass. It's like, what is that? Like, it's so weird. Every other way, he looks exactly like me.
That's so funny.
I'll send you a pic. Michelle, how you doing?
How am I doing? I'm good. I'm annoyed, as I'm sure you realize. And it's one of those things that like it's annoying when you say things like that and then you're like, I can't talk about it. But I just find the powers that be, the systems, the people that tend to have control are just out there really fucking up a lot. And it makes me angry.
Fair enough. And you let it, and it bleeds into the rest of your day. You're not one of those people who can compartmentalize immediately. You're not like a Navy SEAL.
I need an, even though I'm wearing camo, which I'm trying to like toughen up a bit, but I'm just I'm just perplexed by people sometimes, you know?
This is so vague. I just want you guys to know it's nobody you know. This sounds so vague. It sounds like you could be talking about Andrew Herr.
Yeah, and I'm not. Oh yeah, this is also a funny thing. I don't know if you've noticed this, but anytime you and I post a video together or about spare parts or about Letterkenny, in the search, it's like Michelle Milet and Evan Stern lawsuit. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't? Okay.
What does that mean?
So I know where it comes from. And it's because yeah, it's because I posted some like kind of sassy, when I was going through my legal thing, like sassy videos on TikTok, and everyone thought that it was Letterkenny related. On the record, it's not.
But which is always what people assume whenever you're talking about anything. Oh, what the hell? Michelle Milet and Evan J. Stern lawsuit. Do you think that suggests we're suing each other, or is that like we're suing? Oh,
that's what people thought. I think, well, because you made a comment on the video being like, I'll see you in court, like as a joke or something, or something to that effect. And then everybody, of course, took it really seriously.
This is why AI doesn't work yet, because it's too literal and can't understand like inside jokes or anything. Sarcasm. So then all of a sudden stuff like that happens. And you're like, wait, what? No, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am actually good. I've had a great week, and I won't let this like little thing derail my day. We just got like those messages right before we started recording. So I'm a little bit like, I'm just more eye rolly than anything.
Michelle, if you were to sue me for something, what do you think it would be? Or the other way around, I guess. What would I sue you for as well?
I feel like everyone in our industry is suing each other for like defamation. Oh yeah,
you talking shit.
Yeah.
You're posting videos online that I didn't consent to, and it's ruined my career. Nobody sees me as a sexy leading man anymore because of all the all the flirty TikToks where I'm dropping my booty.
Yeah. I think that would actually help for your leading roles.
Oh, I'm supposed to be stoic and cool and tall, and everybody knows I'm short and I drop it low. So I'm fucked. I'm never gonna work again.
Yeah, so maybe defamation, although I don't tend to talk about my friends online. I would never do that to you, frankly, but I think that's kind of in our industry, that's what people are up to. Or maybe when we sign our spare parts contract, I get like a shady lawyer to kind of add a weird clause in there, and you just trust me and you didn't look it over, a la The Social Network, and you just signed it because you thought that you were signing
3 million shares. That sounds incredible.
Exactly. Exactly. Something like that.
Andrew Garfield. Great. I could be Andrew Garfield.
But again, I would never do that to you because I don't do that shit.
Well, you don't talk shit online. You're very like, you're similar to me in that respect, that like you and I are both like very commonwealthy, very UK, like, oh, like behind closed doors, we'll discuss that. Like, I think you and I, despite the fact that we can talk shit for fun, if we're airing out some real dirty laundry, like we don't do it online. We like talk to the person, or we like, we have a conversation about it typically.
Yeah, I would have a really hard time. It's like when I go to a social interaction and I make a joke, like a sassy joke, and then the whole night I'm like, oh God, did I totally fuck that up?
Everyone should know.
Did I hurt somebody's feelings?
No, but everyone should know that you don't mean it that way. That's how I feel. Like, I'm like, there are certain people who make a sassy joke and you're like, oh, that person makes sassy jokes all the time and they're a bit of a dick. And you make a sassy joke and it's like, that's funny.
Okay, thank you.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I hope so. I just sometimes can be really sarcastic, or like I do like pushing it a little, maybe, but I don't think it's mean spirited.
No, you being sarcastic and you making a sassy joke is you trusting the other person to be funny enough to get it. That's what I think.
Right. Yeah, and you kind of have to call people out. Maybe I'm in the era where I'm like, I'm allowed to be critical of stuff.
Absolutely, you're allowed to be
like you don't want to
critical.
be a hater. I think being a hater is so boring and not interesting or open, or it's not going to help you in any way. But I'm allowed to be critical. I'm also allowed to be critical about things in the industry that we work in. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I think I'm a bit too much of a hater. And I know it can be funny to be a hater because it's funny.
I haven't noticed that about you.
You don't feel that way? Okay, I feel that way about myself sometimes. Like even just going through the reels that I was making last week, and I came across this one reel where I was like, oh, I haven't watched Severance yet because I don't like watching things that are hyped, like overhyped. And you're like, yeah, you do that. And I was like,
oh no, sorry.
No, that's not you. That's not on you. I know that to be true about myself. And I'm like, is that me being a hater? Like I can't even take popular culture at face value. I'm like, no, everyone's stupid. I need to make my own decisions.
Okay, well, I was going to defend you, but now that you said that everyone's stupid, it's harder to defend.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I feel like it's almost like you're oversaturated, overstimulated, and you're like, you know what? There's something about this that makes me feel like I just want to give it a beat. That I understand. That doesn't feel like a hater. That feels almost like self-preservation and just kind of like not being a part of the machine, which I really identify with. But I also, I mean, I watch White Lotus as soon as it like drops on Sundays. So like, I don't know.
I didn't even know that it comes out every Sunday, but I have watched the first couple episodes and I was really enjoying it. So
of the newest season?
Yeah, because I watched season 2 all in one sitting on an airplane.
That's a great season 2 is
it was so good.
Masterpiece.
It was so good. I haven't even seen season 1.
And isn't that great that you don't have to? You can just pop right in. Yeah. Yeah. I really I'm sad that you haven't finished it, so we can't really talk about it. But finish it.
Is it over?
Yeah, so it's all. I'm actually shocked that you've missed spoilers online.
Yeah, I had no idea it was over. That's great. Okay, I'll finish it. We'll watch it. I'll get Alana and we'll watch it this weekend. We'll finish it.
Yeah, but to go back to you being a hater, I think you're. I don't view you as a hater. In fact, I view you as somebody who's incredibly open to other people. Like you're not a hater in a toxic way, but you're critical about things. Maybe it's just because I'm similar. Like you would never hate on somebody who has a different experience than you or has a different opinion than you. Like unless it's hateful in and of itself.
I'm a hater of haters.
Yeah, but you don't treat other people poorly. You don't treat other concepts. You're really curious. You stay open. But when it comes to like maybe pop culture stuff, there's a lot to be critical of.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm coming to the conclusion of as you're saying it, because I'm like, well, how do I make this more specific? I am a hater when it comes to something that cost a lot of money to make and which people expect to be very good or have like high expectations of. Just because I'm like, if you spend $200 million on a movie, it's probably going to be shit. I'm sorry, but there is like a certain number you hit where I'm all of a sudden like, there's so little you could be doing in this movie that will make it good enough to require that amount of money to make it. Like right. I'm never critical of movies that cost $200,000 to make because I'm like, good for you. You fucking made a movie.
You pulled some stuff off. Yeah.
And all I'm looking at are the positive aspects of it. I'm like, the score was great. I really like this actor and this actor. Whereas when I go see a $250 million movie, my immediate instinct is to talk about all the shit I didn't like. Because it's like, it cost $250 million. Why is this movie not perfect? Like, what are you guys even doing spending $250 million on a movie?
That feels political to me. That feels very anti-capitalist. That feels like you're critical of systems that have so much access. And it's kind of this grotesque display of wealth.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting. When I watch like a $250,000 movie, I am always like, but the thing is, I have lots of friends who have been in things like that, and I'm happy for them to be in. So as soon as I'm like connected to it a little bit more, or like I know someone who's in it, I'm just happy for my friend. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm still critical of the thing itself. I don't know. This is like a very complex thing happening and in my brain, and all I know is that if I was part of one, I'd be so excited.
Oh,
but since I'm not in one, all I do is look at it and go like, ew, ew.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more like case by case. Sometimes I'm absolutely like, wow, what a spectacle and what fun. And that was so great.
Which is what it's supposed to be, right? Most times.
Yeah. Okay, this is a little bit different, but this memory just popped into my head. So this is a low budget, relatively feature that I did a few years back for Netflix. And it was called El Camino Christmas. And we had the premiere in LA. at the theater at the
You're being
Grove.
sarcastic. It wasn't low budget.
It was, I think, relatively for like an American feature
What,
with
5 to 10 million?
I think 5,
5
which
million?
is
Okay.
which is not. I know it's a lot of money, but for these
know, but
features, it's
yeah.
kind of like lower.
And 3 million of that went to Tim Allen. So
Right, exactly. We assume. But yeah, so anyways, the premiere was in LA and I went down and it was like this exciting night, but it was right in the middle of a bout of like crazy fires. So 10 minutes before everything was supposed to start, so many people, including my manager, had to leave to go get their stuff out of their house because they were worried that so like the vibe was also like, why are we even having this screening? It feels so dire. And then we go in and my friend Kara comes with me. We're watching the movie. There's a woman behind me. We're like, what's that sound? It's a kind of like a rumbly, nasally thing. And I kid you not, this like, I'm excited, my big premiere in LA. And this woman right behind me is fast asleep, snoring the loudest you've ever heard somebody snore. I was like, I'm getting punked right now. It was so, speaking of being critical and underwhelmed.
Oh my God.
So crazy. Kara and I were dying laughing. And then people kept getting up and like looking at their phone and being like, is the house okay? And then like running out of the theater. It was so funny.
That's wild.
It was really funny.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
That is such a TV moment to have somebody snoring behind you at your premiere.
Yeah, it felt hard and also very funny.
Yeah, I will say the boys and I watched El Camino Christmas during this season, I think, like the winter season. Because I remember it being winter. We all watched it together in the stone house.
Whoa.
Yeah, we loved it. We had a great time.
I didn't know you guys watched it.
Yeah,
Why
we all
didn't you
watched
tell
it. We
me?
didn't tell. We must have told you
No,
the
you
second
didn't tell me.
Come on, you think we all watched the movie and then didn't tell you?
I would remember.
That'd be so weird. No, maybe you didn't though. Because like it makes way more sense that you didn't remember as opposed to all 6 of us not telling you that we just watched your movie. Like while on set with you. Like that'd be so much fucking weirder.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cute.
Yeah, I remember we had a great time. We watched a lot of movies. I will say, I keep saying I will say. I gotta stop
I do
that.
it too. No, I do it too.
That.
Connor's
Holy
called
crap.
me out on that. He's like, you preface everything with, I will say, or like not to the, or like something. It's like,
okay,
just
we're gonna
speak.
work on it. We're gonna work on
just
that.
speak.
The other movie. The other
hard.
movies that we were watching at the time when we watched El Camino Christmas was all of the Jackass movies in a row.
Right.
We were on like a really weird tear. We watched every Jackass movie, El Camino Christmas, and then like walking the Dewey Cox story. Do you know what I'm talking about? The John C. Reilly. It's like Johnny Cash, but it's a
I don't think I
ridiculous-
haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The boys must have quoted "You don't want none of this. You don't want marijuana." You don't remember them quoting that all day on set, all day, every day?
I know. I don't know where my
You
head
don't
was
want
at.
none of this shit. It makes sex better. You don't remember them doing that?
No.
Oh, they quoted that movie for the next 6 years. So.
No, don't have any memory of that. But I also, I don't know if it was this season because El Camino Christmas came out in 2018, and this season
Then it couldn't have been this season. When else did we have a winter season though? I'm so confused.
I don't
because it was
know.
the winter.
Where were we? I think we used to. I mean, we used to film occasionally like October into November, and then occasionally it would be very freezing cold because it was Sudbury.
It's Sudbury. Maybe that's what it was. It was like it wasn't a winter season. It was just wintry out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that.
So we
that
were
makes more
still wearing
sense.
summer clothes when it would be like freezing rain and stuff sometimes.
No, you're totally right. This would have been like 4 or 5 years after that.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's such a blur.
It's such a blur.
Oh.
I know. Watching this, well, should we get into episode 1 of season 3?
Yeah, the winter season.
The winter season.
Or the
okay.
blonde season, as we like to call it.
Well, that's how everybody knows it. When Michelle went blonde, finally, what we've all been waiting for. First thoughts are, well, this is like when they did the second alphabet cold open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a great one. I like that's, again, me having full amnesia of the show I was on. I thought the alphabet was the only time we really did it was the very final season. And I was like, wow, as if I was seeing you for the very first time. But I loved that cold open for this episode. And then I was like, oh, we've got a bit of a budget because there's a drone shot with us on Skidoos, or at least somebody on Skidoo. I mean, what are they?
Skidoos? Like sleds? Snowmobiles?
Skidoo.
Skidoo?
Is it a skidoo?
I feel like a sea-doo goes on the sea. and a skidoo has skis on it.
Really?
That's what I would say. But everyone calls it a sled in this show. We're going to get mad. People are going to get mad at us. They call it a sled. They actually make a really big point of calling it a sled many times over. It's called the Sled Shack.
Right.
Yeah.
A sled?
A sled. I would never call it a sled.
Yeah. What's personally. A skidoo? Is that
I think
a
it's
thing?
this. I think it's this thing.
Okay.
But I would call it a skidoo, not a skidoo.
Right. Okay.
But maybe it's a skidoo. I've never ridden
Guys,
one. You
please
rode one,
let us
didn't
know.
You?
No, I didn't actually get on one.
Not even one time?
No, we just sort of, I stood beside it and pretended to get off, but the boys actually rode them around.
Oh, that's too bad. I feel like you would have, I feel like you should have given one a little crank.
Yeah, maybe. It was honestly, I just remember it being so cold, like overwhelmingly
all year. Yeah.
Cold.
That whole season is like every time you see us, just know that we are fucking frigid, friggin' frozen. Turtlenecks to the turtlenecks.
Well, you lose a lot of heat in the neck.
Lose a lot of heat in the neck. I started wearing a turtleneck after that season.
Really? You got inspired?
I did. And I went out and I went to Uniqlo and I bought a bunch of those like heat tech turtlenecks and I put them under all my stuff.
Have you been wearing them in Toronto?
Yeah, ever since.
Wow.
When it's really cold, when it's like -30, I put them on. I get cold quite easily.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm, you know, my body fat percentage is negative. So like,
all muscle, all huge muscle.
Yeah, I'm just organs. I'm just a loose bag of organs and bones. That's why I sink when I swim.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh wait, have you been taking swimming lessons still?
Dude, I learned how to dive last week.
Wait, you're still actively in swimming lessons?
I graduated to the next class and I was the only one from my class that graduated.
Really?
Yeah, everybody else had to retake it. I know.
Good for you.
Thanks.
That's so cool. What was the test like? What were you doing?
The test was like tread water for 2 minutes, do a couple of laps of front crawl, sculling on the water.
I love doing that.
Backstroke, whip kick test. There was a couple other like little things. And
what's a whip kick?
Whip kick is the like, it's the thing you use for breaststroke.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm sure they call it something else, like a frog kick or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this, so I graduated that class, and now in this one, we're learning like dives and various kinds of like survival things, like sending yourself to the bottom of the water by like pushing upwards or whatever. It's been really interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
I've been enjoying it.
Do you feel good in the water now?
Yeah, I feel better. I actually feel almost less good in the water now, because before I always knew I could survive in the water. And now when I'm in the water, I know my technique is wrong. Like I'm very acutely aware of what I'm doing wrong. Like my breathing is not perfect, but I'm still working on that.
Okay. Yeah. That takes some practice for sure.
Yeah. I got to get in the water more this summer. I think that's the big thing is just throwing myself in Lake Ontario, catching a bit of E. coli.
Okay. Just come out west and be in actual water. That's good.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go in the friggin' ocean. Are you kidding me? I'll die.
You're not going to go in the ocean, but the amount of gorgeous rivers and lakes.
Oh, you have
here.
lakes? I just assumed you guys didn't even have lakes. I just assumed it was just like ocean, land. You guys have lakes? Nice lakes?
No, we have so many beautiful lakes and so many incredible rivers.
No E. coli? Not like us?
No.
Oh, we got plenty down by the waterfront. It's great. They have flags up where you can E. coli swim or not.
Oh, that's so disgusting. I remember going to what's the island? Toronto Island, but like that beach on Toronto Island.
Yeah, Hanlan's Point.
Yeah, with friends back in the day, and I was just like, everyone was all excited to be there and
you're like
swim, and always I was like,
ew,
this is ew.
You know who has good beaches? Sudbury.
Yes, really nice, beautiful lakes, beautiful beaches.
Yeah, swimmable.
Remember our lake day?
Yeah,
in the final season, we'll do a whole episode on that at some point.
We'll do a whole episode on Lake Day.
I think we've got a lot to say.
We went to Crystal Lake. That was really fun.
It was so fun. Yeah, it was so fun. Okay, well, I'm glad you're swimming. This is
Crystal
exciting.
Beach, Moon Beach. Yeah, it's great. I'm having a great time. And you know what? By the time summer hits, I'm going to take off that shirt and people are going to be like, oh my God, is that an Avenger? Like, it's going to be crazy.
Totally.
Yeah, I'll be working out and swimming.
You're going to have an 8-pack.
A 12-pack.
Are you doing farm walks? You taught me about farm walks on set.
Farmers carry? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really, unless they tell me to do them in the class, I don't really do them on my own now.
You're doing a class?
I'm doing 5 classes a week. Yeah, Monday through Friday.
What's the class?
It's like a full, what is it called? Functional movement. It's not CrossFit, but it's got like qualities of it without all the kipping and things like that. So no like flinging your body around, but there's a lot of like Olympic lifting with bars. There's a lot of kettlebell. There's a lot of dumbbell stuff. There's a lot of like, and then each day is divided into like a push, pull, upper body, lower body, full body. Like that's kind of and it's like a staggered thing. Yeah. It's pretty intense. There's like, a lot of movement very quickly for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I do remember, was it this season of Letterkenny that Jared started bringing the mobile gym to set?
Oh my God, I forgot about that thing.
Because that was also when we got more of a budget. We had a drone shot and then
we got a personal gym.
We got a personal gym trailer on set
that
Jared would use
hectic.
every single morning. I think this was like the era of Jared getting absolutely jacked.
Yeah, he was getting huge.
He was getting huge and he was very committed.
He wanted
to
his traps to touch his ears.
And they kind of did.
They kind of do. At some point, he loses his neck and his shoulders just become neck, his head and his neck.
You'll see it coming.
Yeah. The trailer days were really funny because obviously Keith used them first thing. So he got his workout out of the way. He's happy. And then the children, us, we got to play in the trailer. So it'd be like, we would play. It would be like maybe Dylan was there for a kind of serious workout. Tyler would always be like, let's go for a sweat. Let's go for a sweat. But like, it's hard to know. He's going to get so mad if he listens to this, but he always like kind of was half working out in there. That's Tyler's.
He's just walking around touching things.
Exactly. With his shirt off.
Yeah.
Always had his fucking shirt off. It's like, put your tarp back on, buddy.
Do you remember the video I took? We'll post it.
Yeah, I remember that video. It's a good video. I mean, but that's kind of what it was every day, is that chaotic, people dancing and screaming, and definitely like a lawsuit waiting to happen, even though Canada's not very litigious and no one would ever sue here. But like someone could have gotten crushed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely a step up. So back to this episode.
Yeah.
So we start off, we've got kind of like nice to see us in a new environment, to be honest. Like seeing them outside, we've got the Sled Shack.
Everybody looks great in the big snowsuits. I like those.
It's really, it's kind of a nice switch up. I mean, I understand why we stopped doing winter episodes because it was firstly,
crew were dying.
Exactly. So hard on the crew to be outside for that long in like minus 40 degrees. Obviously hard on everybody, but like really a lot to ask of a crew for like a 6-episode shoot. But it looks really good. And it's funny because it's like, well, Canada, not the West Coast, but a lot of Canada really does exist mostly in the winter. It's like 8 months of winter and then a shorter, obviously like tiny little spring and then summer, which is so great. But it was nice to represent the Canadian winter, obviously.
I think so too. Yeah. I think it's really important that they did it like early enough on that it was only like 3rd season that they got it.
Yeah.
It is wild how much the show changed in this season though. And thus continuing, like no more DeJordy.
Yeah.
Introduction of Sarah Gadon's character, like the Skids becoming a full on like posse, like clown, like what the fuck is that? Some weird shit starts happening.
I know.
In the Skid world.
Yes, big time.
The Hicks kind of starting to do like activities, like going out to do a big activity, and starting new like hobbies and stuff, like the fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny.
Hockey graduating too. Yeah.
Right, and then they sort of seem like men in this episode. Obviously, that goes away pretty quick.
Like when they're like signing autographs, I was like, the fuck? Who are these people? Like who's left their autograph?
Let's go to the sort of the beginning. So
okay.
So yeah, we've got the guys, like like setup with their and the sushi and sashimi bit and the adding of the S's
inside
and like
the Sled Shack, the
Sled Shack.
the fishing hole,
the fishing hole.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have to shoot in there. We've discussed it, but like, yeah, I was happy to have missed that.
I wish I had gotten a little time in there. I'm not gonna lie, just because whenever we were in Sudbury and we went down to the water during winter, there was always like dozens and dozens of those little shacks out on the water, and I thought they looked so charming, like little smokestacks coming out of them.
Yeah, it is quite charming.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice.
So, do you think it's sushi or sashimis? What's your take on it? Do you have any feelings?
My
about this
take is that, of
conversation?
course, there's no S on the end of most words.
Okay.
And I don't like sushis or sashimis. I find it a crazy thing to say. No, I like eating them.
Okay.
But yeah, don't like that. And I like that Dan kind of is also not into it.
Whenever I come out west, like when we went to Kelowna for Dylan's wedding, I ate so much sushi. Like I ate way too much. The out west sushi. You guys really do have it all figured out with this when it comes to the sushi.
Yeah, we do.
It's so
we got a lot
good.
of things figured out. You should come check it out.
Well, you've got that one thing figured out.
And nature and just like lifestyle, weather. Yeah.
Not seeing anyone having produced the most serial killers of anywhere in the world because of
not
your
BC. That's America's Pacific Northwest.
Well, whatever. Pacific Northwest.
We're not a part of that statistic. We're
you
good
totally
as gold.
are. I guarantee you, BC has.
We do have Willie Picton. Do you know about him?
Yeah, the pig farm guy. Yeah, he killed like 30 people.
I think like hundreds of Indigenous women.
Okay, that's fucked.
Isn't that fucking insane?
Terrifying.
So terrifying. And his farm was like kind of close to where my dad lived at some point.
Oh my God.
And I have this memory, but I don't know if it's a memory really, or if it's something I've just made up in my head to like have a story to tell when I was a kid. But I feel like my dad back in the day had bought bacon from this farm. But again, I may have made that up to like have something interesting to say at school, you know?
I hope not.
I'll have to double check when I see him next. Yeah, but
so yeah,
anyways.
No serial killers out in British Columbia,
except for like the worst one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so they do the sushi conversation in the shed.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, the order is a little lost on me, but I do know then we're introduced to like this new and improved Riley and Jonesy, which was kind of a jump scare to see them in those suits.
In suits, yeah.
Yeah, and looking so mature because they look like baby teens in season 1 and 2, and this is like all of a sudden Dylan's hair isn't as blonde and he looks like an adult man, and also Andrew's hair is a bit smaller.
You are fucking obsessed with their hair.
Obsessed with their hair.
You're obsessed. You could write just an essay about the hockey hair
because it's so cartoon.
I didn't know you were such a hair guy.
I didn't either until this very moment. And it's just on them. I think hockey hair is really funny. And I just think it was so like, it's just, I don't know. They just look like cartoon boys. And I like to see that. I like to see that it's the eras kind of shift them. So shout out to the hair team for really like making that character just, although I have a feeling that they were just kind of styling it.
Right. That's just what their hair kind of looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you do see Hersey or Dylan and they just have like the wackiest, thickest, fullest hair.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is wild.
Like what happens if they go crazy bald all of a sudden at like 40? Like what's going to happen to their personalities?
Their emotional states.
Who do you think would be more devastated, Dylan or Hersey? Dylan.
See, Dylan. I was going to say Dylan.
Yeah, it's Dylan.
But a part of me feels like Hersey doesn't talk about it as much, but I think that he would be shook to his core.
I don't think Hersey, I think Hersey's one of those like people who's hot despite himself.
And Dylan isn't.
Like he doesn't care. Like Hersey wants to be seen as an intellectual and doesn't actually want people to be like, you're hot. Like, cause if you tell Hersey he's hot, he's like, yeah, like he doesn't react. If you tell Dylan he's hot, he's like, thanks, man. You know what I mean? Like Dylan is a kind of like a hot guy and likes that. I feel like Hersey like rebels against his hotness. So maybe being bald would be good for him. Maybe you should intentionally go for like a
maybe he's
pate.
too like young guy stud energy in his like producer meetings, and he should be bald in order for him to be knocked down a peg, so that people are like, okay, I can take this meeting and not feel insecure around you.
Totally. If somebody's too hot, who's supposed to be like the financial backing of something, it's like, I don't trust you. Like, what do you have to offer? Like, you
can't
know
have
numbers?
It all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got a big dick too.
Oh boy. Well, Andrew's gonna love that whole bit.
He's gonna hate it so much because he doesn't like having people talk about it.
And Dylan's gonna have some feelings around it too.
Yeah, you're like, you guys are right.
Okay, so seeing them in this zone, they've got their suits. They're kind of like doing well. The rest of the broski, toski, and schmoski are like completely falling apart on the team
because they're all cheating. Fucking Angie.
Yeah, they all left their wives for a
puck bunny. Right, that's the term.
And this is where we're introduced to the puck bunny. Yeah. And this whole storyline that I'm excited to watch play out, because I totally forget that Katy becomes like an undercover puck bunny and has to learn how to speak hockey.
The like scarf and stuff and like weird glasses. Like, I don't know what that's puck bunny, but I have this, you guys kind of have like a sex thing, like you and Kalinka, you guys kind of have this like intimate conversation like here. And I think we come up to the next box kick as well soon.
I know, like it's well, I can't wait to get there. We're not there yet, but
we're not there yet, but I'm excited.
So introducing Angie as a puck bunny, and having that look so specific, which was definitely Jared Kiso's design, and I'd love to talk to him about like
what the fuck is that going on there?
But I think the thinking behind it is like these quote unquote puck bunnies. They're like, I date hockey players and stuff, but like I also read a book or two.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think they kind of are. It's the overcompensation of not wanting to be categorized as like a hot girl, and so they kind of put on glasses and like put their hair in a ponytail, and they're sort of like, I think that's what it is.
I just assumed that he had a crush on some girl at his hockey games who looked like that.
Maybe.
And his brain is like, that's what they look like.
Right. Yeah, maybe. I think he really thought that look out. As he thinks out. You
got it. Yeah, you got it. You're right there. You're like so close. I don't even know what she's going for.
Let's move on.
I think we all get it though.
Yeah. Jared
Kiso thinks
just
out.
I'm having a day. Let me open my bubbly. No, Jared, that was definitely by Jared's design, but I do think that it was very much a psychological evaluation on a puck bunny, trying to like balance between being seen as this like sexual kind of girl who's maybe a little bit surface with what she's looking for by kind of overcompensating in other areas, you know?
How do you feel about the term puck bunny?
Because I am unfamiliar. No, not even close. I'm sure it's like derogatory, and I wonder how, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's like a point of pride. I would have to talk to the puck bunny community. So if you are listening and you were a puck bunny, you are currently a puck bunny, can you let us know, like, what is that like a bad thing to
like
say?
Is Alicia Cuthbert a puck bunny because she's married to a hockey player, or do you have to be with multiple hockey players to be considered a puck bunny?
I think it's the latter.
Okay, because you're like a bunny, and bunnies like to have sex. I guess.
Hop around.
Hop around. And there's also snow bunnies, right? People who mostly sleep with like skiers and snowboarders, right? But they also ski and snowboard.
Oh, well, that feels unfair because that's just like you're dating your community.
So doesn't that mean that
mostly what people do?
Yeah. Are the boys also snow bunnies? I feel like who's to say that both genders aren't bunnies? Bunny isn't a female thing.
No, for sure. I feel like that's in that specific situation that feels like a dumb. But in this, where it's like you're not a hockey player, you're sitting in the stands, and maybe you've dated. Right. Maybe the criteria is that you have to have dated a bunch of players on the team.
So do you think Katy doesn't count yet because she's only slept with two? Like in the first season, like is she a puck bunny at that point? What do you think?
I think there's many other things that need, like she would need to be really interested in hockey and she couldn't care less. So she doesn't go to the games. Like that's that whole storyline where it's like she never goes to the games.
Oh, she's not pretending to be like part of the hockey culture.
No, she doesn't care that they're hockey players. She just likes their personalities.
Wait, what? That's worse somehow?
Somehow more perverted?
Yeah, ew.
So great introduction to this puck bunny concept, which will, obviously when we learn kind of more going forward, we'll get into. But yeah, and then Katy has the end of season 2. It's kind of dropped that she's going to the city to become a model. Instantly comes back.
People are going to be so mad at us. We forgot the first scene, which is such an important scene.
Say it.
When Tanis shows up and has gotten an abortion.
Huge
we
moment.
Didn't even, we forgot in the same way that, because I get messages about that all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, people are just like, so I'm just kind of curious, like, how did you guys decide to handle that? Or like, what was the, I'm just curious to know about the details. Yeah, because I think people, like, it's a pretty nuanced conversation that's had very abruptly and very succinctly. Yeah. And people aren't used to that level of kind of flippantness, which it feels like flippant, but it isn't. It's like, but it comes across as like a flippant conversation. Like, I took care of it. It's like, okay. But really, if you break the dialogue down like one for one and how they do it, it's so clever and so like, well, that's your choice. It might not have even been yours. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. And at the end of the day, it was your choice. No
shaming.
Like, yeah.
No shaming. Yeah.
It was just such like it's actually such a brilliant and honestly really risky scene when it comes to like, if you think about like Letterkenny's fan base and how 90% of it is American and how America is split down the middle when it comes to issues like that. Like it was a pretty big, bold thing to just kind of throw in there. So I think it does rattle a few cages and makes people go like, whoa.
Yeah.
Even if you are like, pro-choice and all that sort of stuff, like I think people are still like, whoa, what a way to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think I just am like, that's how it should be. Like, it's just kind of like she leads with her energy around it, and Wayne totally matches her energy. He doesn't shame. He doesn't become hysterical. He doesn't press because he completely respects a woman's right to choose. And she is taking the lead. And that's exactly how it should be. And if she had been upset about it and we'd showed that would have been a valid, showcasing of it too. They just decided to lean into the character of Tanis, which is obviously very like totally in control, totally made her choice. And I like that they didn't create a huge like.
Could have been a whole plot.
Well, yeah, it's just
especially in most shows, it would have been an entire plot line.
Yeah, or it would have been this like agonizing discussion. Yeah. It was just very like, we have to discuss, we like dropped this bombshell.
But I think one of the aspects of, and so it is a statement. It is like it is a side that is being taken, obviously, and like a moral stance. I think beyond that, though, it's the way that the conversation is had. Like you said, they don't agonize over it.
Yeah.
But I think most people would still expect there to be like more conversation about it, like her checking in with him, letting him know that it's even a thing that she's going to go do kind of thing, and like having that conversation beforehand. But obviously that's not interesting, not funny. Somehow they made the conversation funny as well. Like they did all these things
very
that are
hard to pull off.
Very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
And it's like, so they decided to like forego all that, like you said, agonizing detail of it to just be like conversation back and forth. We're done. And that's no longer a topic, which it's like brilliant and so hard to accomplish. Like, I feel like this scene in particular could be like watched in a screenwriting class to be like, here's one way to handle an extremely complex topic.
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't deviate from the theme of the show. Nothing is agonized over when it comes to interpersonal relationships on Letterkenny, right? So like for them to have put a different spin on a topic just because it's a potentially complex topic would have done a disservice to the show and its core values, right?
I agree. It's a really good point. I just think people have trouble maybe reconciling with that because they're so personally invested in certain topics, right? Like some people are like, have really strong feelings about various things that you see throughout the show.
It's funny. It's so interesting to me that you've received, nobody has ever said anything to me about that. I wonder if that's like a funny thing because I'm a woman and you're a man.
I'm sure that it is. Yeah. I think it's because it's mostly the people saying it are like,
are they men? Are they men messaging it?
100% it's men, and it's 100% men. It's men messaging though out of like, I think again, they're taking the topic outside of the show and not understanding that the language from the show has to still apply and the same type of humor still has to apply and all that sort of stuff.
And I say again, shut up. Yeah. Okay, and then Katy, we have so much to get through on this episode.
Well, it's a big establishing episode for the new season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Katy comes home, big reveal of this very, very blonde hair.
I love it, by the way.
I kind of love it too. Maybe we sort of miss it.
I was going to say that, but then I noticed you do have blonde hair. It's not platinum, but you have, that's very blonde at the bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of blonde.
Is it not?
It's, dare I say, balayage.
It is.
I love when you say balayage just so seamlessly. It's balayage.
Well, okay. Well, all right. But if you go full platinum, I'll do it too.
Wait, that's fun. I'm like always kind of considering it's just so bad for your hair. And I do remember.
Fry it.
Yeah, like on camera, it looked quite good. The lighting really adjusted it, but in person, it was extremely yellow because it didn't lift properly, I guess. Anyways, it looks good on camera. In real life, it was a little bit, maybe much. But yeah, so she's come home from modeling in the city. And the reason why we did the blonde hair is because she needed some kind of like fashion look a la ANTM from back in the day when they're like, you're getting a makeover. Right. So like, we weren't going to shave Katy's head, but blonde was allowed. So we did that.
I thought you asked for it.
Because I wanted her to have a physical change coming back from.
Yeah.
And I was like, sometimes they get a pixie cut. And they're like, no. And then I was like, or they'll do platinum blonde hair. And they were like, yes.
Cool. So this was this was your idea. It was
also just kind of fun. And I thought it would look cool too in the snow for some reason. I was like very Khaleesi energy.
Like pee in the snow.
Like pee in the snow, which is what I wanted. And then and not only has Katy brought home a new hair look, she's brought home 2 new boyfriends because Katy loves to have 2 boyfriends for some reason.
Yeah.
Wait, what are their names?
Well, Franco Lopresti is the one guy.
Yeah.
Like his actual name. I never met the other guy.
Shep and Kingsley.
Oh, you're looking for their character names. Okay.
Weirdly, I didn't get to know them that well, but what I will say,
Franco's hilarious.
They were so funny and so good. And they showed up like game to just be completely self-deprecating because they're both actual models.
Yeah.
And and they were just so funny. And because, and then the little bit of the backstory of like the male model thing, I used to tell Jared all these stories about like my experience modeling. And like he would ask me like what the modeling guys were like. And I told them the story of where I walked into their model apartment. We were all like going out one night when I was living in Tokyo, and the guys were all sitting around with their modeling like portfolio books, and they were like showing each other their photo shoots, being like, bro, that's fucking sick, dude. Like, you look hot there, bro. Like, check this one out. Like, they were hyping each other out in their like little model poses, and thought that was quite funny. So, anyways, the Shep and Kingsley were kind of this like fun amalgamation of old stories and kind of stereotypes. And the guys, they just did such a good job with that. Like, they were so game. They were shirtless like the whole time, which is a big ask. Yeah. They were so funny.
They also had like a little bit of like Zoolander element to them, obviously.
Of course.
Which of course. I think a couple of the guys' favorite movies is Zoolander. I think Tyler's favorite movies is maybe Zoolander. Mm-hmm. If you ask him. I loved what they did. I loved how clever and quick and like that they were part of the patter in that way.
Yeah.
I loved it. Do you remember how I think this is this episode, but the Taylor Swift line?
Oh yeah. Tubble.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they took it out
they had to
because
take it out.
There was so there was someone doing what do you call a clearance? Which is when you go to a brand or a celebrity or something like that, and you ask if it's okay if we say their name or say like Adidas or whatever it is. And one of the lines was like,
Adidas.
Adidas. One of the lines was, so we actually did have Adidas clearance for the entire show, which is why you see so much of it. Like it shows up in all of like the tracksuits. It shows up in all the, like I wear Adidas all the time.
I mean, not knowing that at all.
Yeah, we had Adidas clearance, which was a big thing. And it was through Kiso, because Kiso is such an Adidas fan.
Great.
Okay, so this is such a side note, but the clearance person reached out to Taylor Swift's team because they were like, in the show, one of the models says "tubble, tubble, tubble," a la trouble, trouble, trouble.
Yeah, and it's in that like it's like I knew you were Tubble when you walked in, and
exactly.
then it goes Tubble,
and it goes
Tubble,
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 Tubble. And so apparently, it would have cost us $30,000 or $50,000 just to say Tubble, 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 and so they took it out.
Yeah.
Which is such a bummer, because I would way rather if Taylor Swift sued Letterkenny for saying Tubble, Tubble, Tubble. I think that would be just amazing.
Yeah, I don't think they would have won. Like, let us say that joke. But I guess you just can't risk it. When your budget is so tight, you're like, well,
when your budget
just
is the
in
whole
case.
episode.
Yeah, $30,000. That shuts us down. Yeah, but they were really good. I also think it's just so strange that Katy loves... It's another like duo boyfriend
She needs
moment.
both.
She needs both. And then we go, I'm just kind of going through like, okay, so then we went through the hockey guys. Oh yeah, the signing of the boobs was really funny because I remember the boys being like, yeah, we just like actually had to sign these girls' breasts. And then, okay, so then this is also when we kind of realized that Devin has officially left the skid crew. And what do they say? He left, he took all of his things, he left.
So the big thing is he's had problems with the way Stewart's been running things for a while, apparently. He says that all the petty vandalism was too petty, wasn't big enough. Right. And then so he just took all his things and he left. And then we get the appearance of the clown.
Which came out of nowhere. Yeah,
which they believe to be Devin throwing stink bombs in the basement. But then when you watch it back, you're like, there's a woman under that clown.
Well, yeah.
So maybe you just know that. If you know it's Sarah, you know it's Sarah.
Well, it's not actually Sarah. It's definitely just like
No, it's Sarah.
They made her put on that mask and do that?
Yes, that was Sarah. I remember because that was the weekend. So Sarah Gadden.
So sorry that we made you do that,
Canadian icon,
darling.
Sarah Gadden,
What
has been in everything forever for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Last 20 years.
Yeah. Really, really good friends with Jacob Tierney, which is the reason why she's on the show. And because Jacob directed every episode.
It's not because she's talented. It's not because she was right for the role.
No, but she didn't audition for that. Like he was like, do you want to be on Letterkenny? And she was like, okay.
She went, fine.
Yeah, exactly. So she showed up and we only had her for 3 full 24-hour days. So our entire season is shot in 1 3-day chunk, block shot, which was crazy. All 7 episodes. This was the season, and these were the episodes where we shot 27 pages a day. And it was absolutely bonkers. And she had no clue what she was in for. So that was her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was great.
Good for her. Yeah,
she
that
was so good.
So
she was so
strange.
Funny.
That was such a strange little moment. But yeah, handled the Devin departure well. Yeah. Some shows will just like move on and never discuss it, or like, in New Girl, the pilot, one of the actors. Leaves. Yeah. And then they just replace.
Well, it's because he booked Happy Endings as well. And he was like, Happy Endings is the one that's going to go. Or like the one that I want to be on, and Happy Endings only did 3 seasons. And then he comes back after 5 seasons.
And I've never really watched.
Yeah, he's amazing. When he comes back, it's great. It's really lovely. And Lamorne Morris is amazing. So him taking over for Damon Wayans Jr. is like great. But
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. It's weird when you watch the first episode and then you're like, wait, what? They've already lost Coach?
Yeah, like what's going on that set? Mm-hmm. But it was nice that they just like, part of me was wondering if they were going to do some kind of like big dramatic, like Devin died.
Devin died in a meth explosion is what I thought they were going to go for.
Way too dark for Letterkenny though.
Well, okay. So here's a big thing that we always kind of hoped for by the end. We always hoped Devin would come back at least once. Everyone kind of did. Everyone kind of hoped he would come back for like the last episode or like something at some point, but I guess it never.
I wonder if that was ever
materialized.
even talked about.
Probably not. I bet nobody ever reached out. I bet it never kind of like, it just probably didn't, it felt like too much time had passed or something. I don't know. But I would, if I was, you know, in charge of everything, I probably would have just been like, everybody's got to come back.
You're right. Well, I mean, you know how I feel about like the promo that they did for the last season where I'm walking in the chaps.
In the cowboy outfit. And all the comments are like, Roald should do this.
No, I'm like shocked because I thought would be so funny is like all the same. And then as I like turn around and walk away, you and Glenn come in with the same exact outfit on and then follow me out with your bums out.
Yeah, I would have done that in a heartbeat.
So good.
And the thing is, I think if we had the time and the resources and the wherewithal and we knew that this is what it was going to look like.
Yeah, it was a last minute choice that I think they used that.
It was so last minute, but I feel like it would have been so funny.
Funny.
Yeah, I feel like we could still do it. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like maybe for the movie, you know what I mean? If we're going to like, it starts with, it's like they like zoom in on the like leather ass and it zooms out and then it's Roald and Glenn.
Yes.
In the exact same outfit.
Everyone's like, whoa, Michelle Milet's like, she's absolutely
hairy
like,
ass.
no, you have to shave because everybody be like, look at that big butt she has all of a sudden. I thought her butt was so small.
Yeah.
But then it's your
She's
butt.
been lifting for sure. I bet she.
And it's you. You're all caked up.
I'm caked up. Yeah. By the time the movie comes out.
Well, we know that Jacob's caked up.
Jacob's definitely caked up. Yeah. That's all he works out. He doesn't do any other functional fitness. He just does his butt cheeks one at a time.
Yeah. And he wears loose pants. You can't see it, but he's actually got a J-Lo shelf. That's a rumor.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess like the way that this episode ends, a lot happens in this episode, but it is very just establishing. The fishing lodge that they've spent all this time in, where they've had the sushis and sashimis, gets ransacked. I have no idea by who.
It's the natives. Isn't it? Or is it the degens? Honestly,
those are the options.
It's one of the two.
It's either the degens from Upcountry or
it might be the DJ. It might be the degens because I guess the natives ransacked their like produce stand last season.
Yeah, and aren't they like all good? And
for now they are.
And Tanis and Wayne had that like nice little like, you know, moment.
They had a resolution. Yeah. No, it's probably that you're probably right because this turns into Lesique, like right at some point the French episode happens, so it's probably the degens from like
I love
Laval.
when you do that accent.
Oh well, it's gonna happen a lot more this season.
Can't wait. Yeah, and then you know, we get back to the classic. We got to find who did this and beat the shit out of them because we didn't have any fights and Jared cannot rest.
Well, they had one fight at the very beginning of the episode, right after or right before the season opens with a fight.
What?
The season opens with a fight.
Who are they fighting?
The Hicks are helping the natives to fight degens or something.
Oh, and that's okay.
In the bar. And that's why Tanis is there. And she's like, hey, thanks for taking care of that for me, bud. Right. And he's like, thank you, bud. And then she's like, so I took care of the other thing. And he's like, yeah, for sure, bud.
Right.
And then they're like, well, I'll see you around. Over and out.
And then they low bones.
Yeah, they low bones.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to explain what that is. If you don't know what that is, you need to get more into the Letterkenny culture. I'll say that. I like this episode. It's great. It's kind of stylistically nice to see. This is, I think, when we, like I said, got a little bit of a budget. So it's nice to see some like extra shots mixed in. I know that this season wasn't our typical like 9-hour day Letterkenny season. This was like a lot heavier lifting, a lot more complex. But it is kind of nice to see these characters in a different environment.
I thought I was going to die in this season.
Why?
There were moments, I'll tell you about it. In the future episodes, you'll see. There's a couple moments of things that were happening that I was like, well, this is it for me.
Jeez. Hypothermia, mostly?
Well,
we'll see. I guess we'll wait and see.
We'll see, I guess.
Fun.
I will say it was almost Sarah Gadden who killed me.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Okay.
We'll get to it. Maybe next episode, maybe the episode after. Who knows? I don't know what else happens in this season. It kind of feels like a blur.
Oh, yeah. This is like, when we get into like 3, 4, 5, 6, I have no idea.
No clue what happens from here. All I know is that there's a lot of like clowns and there's a lot of sled shacks and there's a lot of fighting.
Yeah. Clowns, such a funny thing. I'm glad that we brought clowning into the skid world, though. It makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yes. The theater of it all.
Yeah. Should we get into a question from Spare Hearts?
This one is called Femme Person Struggles in a Male Dominated World. And it starts off with a bunch of really lovely compliments, which are so nice, and saying, oh, I always get comments on my favorite shirt with Rold's face on it. And I just want to say, Evan, I'm so sorry that I was the first to bash your stash on that TikTok video. It looks great now. So thank you. So I'm a very femme person, and I am following my heart into a career that I absolutely love. I'm currently an apprentice carpenter, and being able to do the hard work that men usually do makes me feel so strong and so alive. But these dudes, mostly the older fellas, are relentless. There's always at least one on every job site that I'm either completely ignored, I'm shut out by, or given the sweetheart treatment that I absolutely despise. I would do anything to be just seen as one of the guys because that's how I feel. I can talk smack and work like the rest of them. What do you guys think I can do to show these degens that I'm not to be looked down on? Love, 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 a lady carpenter.
Isn't this just a classic issue?
I think you should intentionally do that thing where you like start hazing the old guy who fucks with you, put a nail through his hood and like get him stuck to the wall. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Get his lunchbox, hang it up really high, nail it up really high on the wall. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pull some parts.
Get his shoes, tie them together, throw them up on the, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually, not to talk about TikTok too much, but I saw this funny TikTok about like, what are things we can be doing? Like leave in the comments your ideas for decentralizing men in your life. And there's so many funny comments like
decentralizing, like making them less the center of your life, like making like,
yeah, just because like a lot of these, so for in an example, we tend to call groups of people, hey guys, which is a male whatever. So instead be like calling everyone girls. Like these are just kind of funny examples to kind of switch your brain a little bit. So another one that I thought was so great was, you know, like the Alexa home systems and like Google, it's always...
You want it to be a boy?
Well, it's always a female voice. Yeah. And this woman wrote in being like, I changed it all to men because I don't want my kids thinking that women are always like servants.
Hey, Alex. It's like
literally like things like that. Right. I think you can kind of have fun with it, or say a man on your job site gets a haircut, be like, oh my God, I love your pixie cut.
I think shit like more that, like destabilizing men as opposed to like
hey,
decentralizing
I'm all for that too.
Yeah.
I just think there's like ways that you can be fun about it and also get your point across.
Right.
But there's a limit, and I understand being frustrated. Sometimes the older generations aren't like as kind of in the know on how to just behave. Right. And it's like lack of education. There really is no excuse, obviously, because we should all be staying educated on how to make other people just feel normal and comfortable, especially in the workplace. But I would think just like little kind of redirects if you have the emotional capacity to do that. So if somebody is like, it's like just kind of like put like throw them off too, you know, like if like you can kind of fuck with them as well. And then if it gets
No, you go. You finish your thing.
I was gonna say, and then if it gets like taken too far, you're allowed to be like, look, I know I'm like the only woman here, but I am not comfortable with being called X, or I'm not comfortable with this treatment. Like that needs to stop. It's boring. It's passé. I'm not interested. Let's just do the work and like keep it moving. You know, like you can totally be direct.
That's so adult though. I don't think that, maybe they respond to it.
It's hard.
Maybe they respond to adult behavior, but I feel like it's better to just call the old guy a sweetheart as well.
Exactly. And say he's got a nice
same
and be like, hey girls, can we all come over here and check this thing?
Sure.
Like just be like, you can be a bit sassy about it.
Be sassy with it. Yeah. And there's definitely a way to, God, like one of the examples she gave was, being ignored or shut out. It's like, it sounds like only kind of one person is giving you this treatment. It's like, ignore and shut out that person too. Fuck that person. If they're going to give you that kind of treatment, like don't give them the time of day. You know what I mean? Like it's just as much your job site as theirs. Mm-hmm. So, you don't let people walk all over you, but leading with humor especially on a job site like that, is probably going to go a really long way. Yeah. Being funny, like just be smarter and funnier than them and be quick with it and talk some shit.
And this is a good one too. Like say you do make a joke at their expense, like you hit them back with what they're hitting you with.
Yeah.
And then they're like, have like a negative reaction. You can be like, whoa, do you want to have a conversation later when you're a little bit less emotional?
I get,
like
I hear you,
flip the tables a little bit.
How do you feel about when guys when girls do the thing where they're like, well, explain that joke to me. What's funny about that?
When
do
guys do that to me?
No. Like when a guy says something like, oh, well, she can't lift that. Or like, maybe you should get one of the guys helping it. And then being like, well, explain that to me. What's funny about that? Or like, tell me, like,
I love that.
Getting them to say the thing,
great.
say the sexist thing out loud.
Right. Sorry. I also, I love getting somebody to repeat a bad joke.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry. What?
Sorry. I didn't hear that.
Can you say that again?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
And they're like,
and then they have to say it again.
Dude, even if you have to repeat a good joke, it's terrible.
Oh, exactly.
I can't even imagine repeating a bad joke.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. You said that. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I didn't hear
you.
Sorry, you want to say that again? I'm wearing
my ear protection because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Because I'm on a site. I'm working very hard, actually. Sorry, what? Yeah, I think there's just ways you can kind of like sit in your power a little bit. And then obviously if it's the whole gang, you're like up for a bigger challenge. If it's
doesn't
just
sound
like
like
one,
it is though. It sounds like it's just one person. Yeah.
Well, then just fully ignore that person, and then they're gonna be kind of jealous that you're not talking to them too, and they'll probably try to like suck up. But I just wouldn't. You do,
don't win them over. Who gives a fuck about them?
Yeah, exactly.
Just
don't
treat the other
cater.
people good because you like them.
Show up as you, and don't even like I started being really aware of just like little things of not laughing, even just not that I was doing this before, but just being hyper aware
to like accept and not make them feel uncomfortable for saying something. Yeah.
You know, like being like, oh, well, they didn't mean it like that or whatever. And you don't have to be like, what the fuck was that? But you can just kind of not react. And there's nothing more crushing than indifference.
Yeah. Or like an eyebrow raise. One of these.
Or just
when somebody says, when you go.
And then you just keep working. Whew, that will hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for that question. I think this is something that people deal with often, and work dynamics are tricky, but yeah, hit them with some humor or just completely disengage. That's what I would say.
Okay, here's the update from the.
Oh, we've got an update.
We got a little update here. So it's an update from the person who had the gay wife. In the divorce. So literally just recently.
Great.
I have an update because it's funny because it seems like to be in line with all your suggestions. I'm getting back and involved soon with new groups of people. And I was tapped to be the prop master and set builder for a theater production. And the musical's in October and I'm really excited. It's Young Frankenstein. And he says, my ex and I manage and produce a burlesque troupe together, but this will be my first full-time journey into theater, and I'm really excited to be doing the work and interested to see what new people and new friends I make along the way. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart for your response and encouragement. P.S. She's also doing very well and is in a great relationship with an awesome lady who has really embraced our family, including our daughter. How cute is that?
Makes me so happy. Thank you so much for that update. It's nice, like when you hear stories of things that are so loving and pure and evolved. Mm-hmm. That makes me so happy.
Family working out, making new family. It's great. And I hope you make a lot of new friends on this set. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Oh, and what a perfect place to connect with people and interesting people from different walks of life too. Like theater, the arts, it's just like such a bunch of cool freaks, and it's so nice to hang with them. That's like why we do what we do. It's like all we want to be a part of. So
it's true. Bunch of weirdos.
Bunch of weird sweetie pies. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. And guys, don't forget to submit your questions or your updates. We love to get them at sparepartspod@gmail.com. And if you want to rate or subscribe to the YouTube channel or the Spotify or the Apple stuff, please do that because it really, really, really helps us. Thank you.
It does. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And Evan, thank you for kind of carrying the load. I know it was a little bit lower energy today. So hopefully
we're chilling. We're having a nice little day.
And then sometimes, you just have to show up as you are. And I feel better already. So yeah.
Come as you are. So we're going to have to pay $30,000 to license that for the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks,
and I
guys.
do want to say the Relative Skin 25% off code is still active. So if you want 25% off everything at Relative Skin, enter spareparts25 at checkout. And free shipping on orders over $100 to anywhere in Canada and the States. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.